The Whispering Oak. In the small village of Eldergrove, whispers of old legends circulated like the morning mist. One of the most chilling stories involved a massive oak tree at the edge of the dark, forbidding Eldergrove Forest. Locals called it the Whispering Oak. The tree was ancient, its gnarled branches sprawling like twisted fingers reaching out to snatch unwary souls. The villagers claimed that if you stood beneath its boughs on a moonless night, you could hear it speak. It was said that the Whispering Oak held the souls of those who had vanished in the forest, their voices merging with the rustling leaves. Few dared to venture near it, especially after dusk. Those who did return often spoke of haunting experiences, hearing disembodied voices, feeling ghostly hands brush their skin, or catching glimpses of shadowy figures flitting through the darkness. For years, the stories remained just that, stories, warnings told to children to keep them from straying into the forest. But all that changed when Thomas Hale, a skeptical writer in search of a gripping tale, moved to Eldergrove. Dismissing the villagers' warnings as mere superstitions, Thomas was determined to uncover the truth behind the Whispering Oak. Thomas rented a small, secluded cottage on the outskirts of the village, not far from the infamous forest. He spent his days interviewing the locals, gathering their tales of terror, and his nights poring over old texts and folklore. His curiosity about the Whispering Oak grew with each passing day, and soon, he resolved to experience its eerie whispers for himself. One cold, moonless night, Thomas set out for the Whispering Oak armed with nothing but a flashlight, a notebook, and a voice recorder. The villagers watched him go with a mix of pity and fear, certain that he would regret his foolhardy quest. The forest was deathly silent as Thomas approached the tree. Its massive trunk loomed like a sentinel in the darkness, and the air grew thick with an unsettling stillness. Undeterred, Thomas stood beneath the oak's sprawling branches and switched on his voice recorder. "All right, Whispering Oak," he said, his voice trembling slightly. "Let's hear what you have to say." For a long moment, there was nothing but the sound of the wind rustling through the leaves. Thomas felt a shiver crawl up his spine. He was about to speak again when he heard it, a soft, sibilant whisper that seemed to come from all around him. "Thomas." He froze, his heart pounding in his chest. The voice was faint, barely more than a breath, but unmistakable. He strained to hear more, holding his breath. "Thomas, why have you come?" The voice was clearer now, and it sent a chill through his bones. Thomas looked around, his flashlight beam cutting through the darkness, but there was no one there. I want to know your story," he stammered, feeling foolish for talking to a tree. The Whispering Oak seemed to consider his words. The leaves rustled, and the voice came again, a chorus of whispers overlapping and merging into a single, eerie sound. "Our story is one of pain and loss. We were once like you, Thomas. Living, breathing, dreaming, until the darkness took us." Thomas's skin prickled with goosebumps. "What happened to you?" "The forest claimed us," the voices replied. "One by one, we vanished into its depths, never to return. Our souls became trapped, bound to this tree by ancient, malevolent forces." Thomas felt a surge of both fear and excitement. This was the story he had been seeking, the dark secret at the heart of Eldergrove. "Is there a way to free you?" The whispering chorus fell silent, and for a moment, Thomas thought the voices had vanished. Then, they returned, more intense and urgent. "There is a ritual, but it is dangerous. Few have attempted it, and none have succeeded. You must be willing to face the darkness, to confront the evil that holds us here." Thomas's mind raced. He had come seeking a story, but now he felt a sense of responsibility, a desire to help these trapped souls. "Tell me what I need to do." The Whispering Oak's branches seemed to sway, and the whispers grew louder, filling his ears with a cacophony of voices. "In the heart of the forest, there is an altar. You must go there at midnight, on the night of the new moon. Bring an offering of blood and fire. Speak the words we shall give you, and the darkness will be drawn to you. If you are strong enough, you may break the curse. If not, you will join us." Thomas's heart pounded. The risk was immense, but he had come too far to turn back now. He agreed to the ritual, and the Whispering Oak whispered the incantation to him, its words searing themselves into his memory. The following days were a blur of preparation. Thomas gathered the necessary items, an old silver dagger, a vial of his own blood, and a torch. As the night of the new moon approached, the villagers grew more anxious, begging him to reconsider. But Thomas was resolute. He had to see this through. On the appointed night, Thomas ventured into the heart of Eldergrove Forest. The darkness was oppressive, the air thick with an unearthly chill. He found the ancient altar, a weathered stone slab covered in moss and vines. The forest seemed to hold its breath as he lit the torch and placed it on the altar, then pricked his finger with the dagger, letting a few drops of blood fall onto the stone. He recited the incantation, his voice steady despite the fear gnawing at him. The air around him grew colder, and the shadows deepened, coalescing into a tangible darkness that seemed to pulse with malevolent energy. A low, guttural growl echoed through the forest, and Thomas felt a presence closing in on him. The darkness took shape, forming into a towering, shadowy figure with eyes that gleamed like embers. It spoke in a voice that rumbled like thunder. "Who dares summon me?" Thomas's heart pounded, but he stood his ground. "I seek to break the curse that binds the souls to the whispering oak." The shadowy figure laughed, a sound that sent shivers down Thomas's spine. "You are brave, human, but foolish. The curse is ancient, forged in blood and darkness. It cannot be broken by mere mortals." Thomas gripped the dagger tighter. "I am willing to try." The figure regarded him with its burning eyes. "Very well. If you wish to face the darkness, then you shall. But know this, if you fail, your soul will be mine." With that, the figure lunged at Thomas, engulfing him in shadow. Thomas felt himself being pulled into a void, a place where light and hope did not exist. He struggled, fighting to hold on to his sense of self, to resist the darkness that sought to consume him. In the depths of the void, he saw visions of the souls trapped within the whispering oak. They reached out to him, their faces etched with sorrow and despair. He felt their pain, their longing for freedom, and it fueled his determination. He would not let their suffering continue. Drawing on every ounce of his strength, Thomas focused on the incantation, repeating the words over and over in his mind. The darkness roared, trying to drown out his thoughts, but he held on, forcing the words through the oppressive gloom. Slowly, the void began to recede, and Thomas felt himself being pulled back to the forest. The shadowy figure howled in rage, its form dissipating like smoke. Thomas collapsed to the ground, gasping for breath. As he lay there, the forest seemed to come alive with a new energy. The oppressive chill lifted, and a warm breeze rustled through the leaves. The souls trapped within the whispering oak began to emerge, their ethereal forms glowing with a soft light. They surrounded Thomas, their faces filled with gratitude. "Thank you," they whispered in unison. "You have freed us." Thomas watched as the souls ascended, their light fading into the night sky. He felt a profound sense of relief and accomplishment. The curse was broken, and the whispering oak was finally at peace. Exhausted but triumphant, Thomas made his way back to the village. The villagers, who had been anxiously awaiting his return, greeted him with astonishment and awe. They listened in rapt silence as he recounted his ordeal, their fear giving way to a newfound respect. From that day forward, the whispering oak was no longer a symbol of terror, but a testament to the courage and determination of one man who dared to confront the darkness. The forest, once feared, became a place of reverence and remembrance, where the villagers would come to honor the souls that had been freed. And Thomas Hale, the skeptical writer who had sought a story, found himself forever changed by his experience. He had come to Eldergrove in search of a tale, but he left with a deeper understanding of the power of belief, the strength of the human spirit, and the enduring legacy of the whispering oak.